Hi and welcome to my studio. In yesterday's video about my 100-day project from day 92 to 98, and I will put a link below in the description box for the video, I used my Momigami papers. Several has asked if I would show how I make my papers, and I also think I mentioned in the video that I would do a video about making Momigami papers. By the way, my name is Lisbeth and I'm a Danish mixed media artist who also likes to do other craft things, embroidery and paper things and books and a lot of exciting things. But the short version, Momigami is an old Japanese technique where you kneading papers, and you don't do it a lot until it feels like papers instead of it feels like cloth or fabric instead of paper. That is the short version of it. If you want to know more about it, Google it. There are probably people who know more about it than I do. So before we begin, I must say this is my way or my interpretation of doing Momigami. Perhaps a skilled Japanese person will think, what the heck is she doing? But this works for me this way, and I like the papers I get out of it. So I will do it this way, and I will show you how I do it, but probably other persons or Japanese will do it in other ways. But let us begin. You don't need a lot of materials for this. You have to have some copy paper, drawing paper, or any kind of paper you have. It mustn't be too thick or it mustn't be too thin. I like to use brown packing paper like this. And I also, this is, what do you call it? When I buy bread in our local baker, I got the bread in this. I don't know what it's called. But I have cut it up and made a flat piece of paper. So that's the only thing you need, these kinds of papers. And then I use acrylic paint and a big brush. And I think everybody who is looking here at my channel can paint a paper. So I'll just paint it like this. And put some paper under so you don't damage your table. And I don't think you need to see me painting all these papers. I will do three different ones. So here is the first one. And of course you can take several colors and mix them. So you get papers who have several colors on them. But I will paint the two other papers and let them dry and be back. And I think it will take a little to get these paper dry. Here I'm painting just ordinary copy paper, and I haven't cleaned my brush. And the paint is sliding more around under this smooth copy paper than it is on the brown paper. You have to use a little more paint on the brown paper than you have to use on the copy paper. But you probably will find that out yourself. So here it is, a green one. And I will also let this dry and be back. And don't forget to put your brushes in water so you won't ruin them. I think my papers are nearly dry, and I haven't taken very big pieces of paper here because I have to be in frame here. But I like to use the IKEA has a drawing paper in a roll, and I like to cut a square piece of that out and paint all over it. And then sometimes in the evenings when I'm looking at the telly, I sit and crumple and knead these papers, and that is quite meditative. But imagine, I think I will start with the copy paper. Imagine it was a bigger piece of paper, because it isn't quite as important when the paper isn't bigger than this. This is A4. Yeah. And I also did, I can't remember if I mentioned, you can use any kind of acrylic paint, but don't use your expensive golden paint. That would be waste. You can use cheap craft paints for this. But before, I think I will remove my rings so they won't be in the way. So I simply start to go all around it, and it isn't much here because the paper isn't bigger than it is here. But imagine it was perhaps, I think it is 50 by 50 centimeters, the big sheets I do it with. But then I have this piece here, and I just, when I have been doing that for a little time, I fold it out again. And you can see already there's a small hole there, but don't mind that. And this you must do, yeah, I can't tell you how long time. It depends on the paper and how much you want it to be feeling like fabric. But you can crumble so much that the paper at some point, because it is cheap copy paper, it will start to dissolve, and you have to stop before that. You can also do it like this, but kneading and crumbling and squeezing, that is the main thing here. And take it out again. I don't know what the Japanese do if they put anything on their fingers. You can use a tiny drop of baby oil on your fingers, because it is hard on your fingers and your palms. It is not to the oil is not to do with the papers as a. It is only to protect your hands. But I hate to get baby oil or oil on my fingers, so I don't use it. But you can use it if you like. But don't put too much. It's tiny drop at a time. Because if you put too much oil on, you will get it in your papers, and I don't like my papers get greasy. But some people like to do it that way. So, yeah. Sorry for the noise, but you must put your fingers in your ears if you don't like the sound. But I will do this for a little and be back when this piece is done. I nearly think it has gone enough, and a good sign of for you is to stop it if there is starting to come holes in your paper, and that will happen, and I don't mind. You can see I have laid this on the same size of paper as this one I painted, and it shrinks. It is a little funny, but this paper was the same as the white border, the white piece of paper here. So I'm sorry you can't feel it through the video, but it feels quite different than paper now. But I think this is nice as it is now. So I will stop with this and take one of the brown papers and show you that. This was the thickest of the two brown papers I have. So again, I will and of course you could have been painting out to the edge, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to get dirty fingers for this video, but paint all the way through the edges, and that is fine. So again, I'll just squeeze it here until I have a little ball like this. And this paper is quite hard compared to a copy paper, but I like it when it's done. And if you have any illnesses with your hands, I don't know what it's called when you got stiff hands, rheumatism or something, you probably won't like this. But yeah, fold it out again. Yeah, and then turn it the other way. It makes a lot of noise, and I'm sorry for that, but it would do that. So just sit and watch TV and think of all the kind of things what you can do with your papers, and how exciting it is you can make such papers. But it isn't very exciting to see me sitting all day here kneading and crumbling my paper. So I will continue with this ball and be back when I think it's done. And this could take 5-10 minutes perhaps, I don't know. But once in a while fold it out and look at it and see if you like it and you like the consistency of it. So I think this has got enough, and while I was off camera, I got thinking why use all my force and strength to Momigami this here without paint, so I teared it off, and there's no reason to waste force on that. So I think this looks nice as it is here. I know it's the same color as I have painted, but I think it looks different with all these wrinkles on. So here, let us take the last piece of paper, and again I think I will remove these edges here. There isn't any reason for Momigami on these, and there isn't any paint on. And this is a quite thin paper, so I don't think this needs so much. Like this. And again, this is so light, so you can just do it like this and squeeze and knee and squeeze and knee. And fold it out. And I think I remember this was a bag from the baker where I got my bread. Perhaps you call it something else than a bag. For me, a bag is like a what I think of, perhaps you call it a purse. Yeah, all these English words. It isn't so easy for a Danish girl. But then it is good I have my hands. I can show you what I'm doing instead of talking all the time. I will continue with this paper here and be back when this is done. So this piece feels nice now, and it is quite sturdy, even though it is quite thin paper. I think copy paper is the lousiest paper for this, but it works, but be careful with the holes. But this is what this looks like. And, I'm quite sweaty now. You need strength to do this, so have it quite warm now after all this kneading and squeezing here. So these were the 3 papers here, and yeah, they look lovely together. I think perhaps I will make a collage with them. But we will see. I have one last little trick, and I don't think you could call it Momigami, but it is about crumbling your papers. This is a kind of wax paper. It is waxed on both sides, and I think it is for wrapping your food in. So if you take this paper, and sorry for the noise again, and squeeze that exactly as I have done with the other papers. But not for as long time, just a little, so you can see the wrinkles here, like this. A little bit flat. And then I have some archival ink here in my ink pad, and then you can lightly go over the top. Don't push down this way, but just with one slight hand go over here, and then you get all the tops of the folds will get a black here, like this, and that looks quite yummy too, I think. But that was just a little extra here about kneading and crumbling papers. So now I have done what I have promised, made a little video of how I made my Momigami papers. I hope you find this inspiring and would give it a try yourself. It isn't difficult, but it takes its time and a little strength with your hands. So if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing my little Danish channel. That would be very helpful and helpful for the algorithms, and I will be very happy if you would follow my work. So bye bye for now, and take care, be creative until next time. Hej hej.